All right, so here is the fun part. We're going to put everything we've learned, right? We've learned the theory about making money. We know that the only way to make money is sales or investing. So if you have money, you can become a investor. If you don't have money, you're going to have to sell something, right? And we're talking about real estate, and so or learn how to put deals together. And so you're going to have to go acquire the properties and go raise money and do all that. And you learned where you're at, where do you want to go. You've learned what your currencies are: time, money, knowledge, and relationships, right? You learn what is the best training and development program for you for the next step, and you've learned what is the probable most likely training and development program for success, which is the advanced level masterminds. And so this is where we're bringing all that together, right? This is my brain. And so step one is type of deal. Step two is type of marketing. Step three is type of lead. Step four is financing. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through each one of these. So this one, we are focusing primarily on, no, not primarily, we're focusing only on type of deal. And so I want to show you everything from here on over. Don't worry about. We're only going to focus on this piece right here. And I'm going to show you how to interpret this. It'll be really easy. Now, a couple things. We do have some blues. So the blues, we do have some reds, and we do have some greens, right? And so here is how to interpret this. The blue is third-party acquisitions. And so that is, think MLS wholesalers. The green is direct with sellers. That means you're being direct with seller. The red is a combination of both. It can be either of those. That's how you interpret those. But let's focus over here. And so we have big check strategies, we have cash flow strategies, and then we have combination of both. And so how you interpret this from top down is orange is big check strategies. So all of these with the orange would be your big check strategies. Again, there's more than this, but this is a good start. Your purple are your cash flow strategies. And so all of these are your cash flow strategies. Your whites are the combinations of both, right? So these are all of your big check and cash flow strategies. And then down here is the outlines of beginners are that. And so these would be for purple, all of these would be beginners. Intermediate is the large dotted line, so these would all be your intermediate. And then your advanced, whoop, come on. Your advanced are these small dotted lines. And so these are your advanced. Again, these are my personal opinions. You may disagree, you may not disagree. I don't care. It's a starting point. That's it, gang. It's a starting point for the principles of what we're trying to learn. And so I'm going to go through each of these, right? And so we're going to start off with fix and flip residential. I'm just going to tell you what they are. And we're just going to work our way down all the way through that. And so fix and flip residential is buying a single family home, fixing it up and flipping it. You can use, now here's the key. Oh my gosh, it's such a complex, and so you can see it's red, meaning we can use third-party sellers or direct with sellers, which means our marketing can be done any type of ways, which means, oh, it opens it up for all of the different type of leads, which means any type of financing is available. And so there's a lot that goes into this, but follow, again, learn the principles of what I'm saying. And so the red means we can do direct with seller or direct with seller or third party acquisitions. The solid line means it's a beginner, and the orange means it's a big check strategy. So that's how you interpret that. And I'm not going to go over that on everyone, but just to sort this out. So fix and flip is buying single family residential, fixing up and selling it. Trailer home flips. This is um, this is buying a trailer that you fix up and you sell it. Now, the things with trailer homes is people get stuck in the world of they find something really cheap, but they don't understand the context of what they actually bought. It may actually be it may be a lot with a trailer. It may be a trailer that's leased. Now, typically, I see people get stuck with these are uh, they it's too old to be financeable. And so the only person that can buy it is with cash, and then they can't sell it on the back end. So they buy it for really cheap, fix it up, and then they can't sell it because the market that they're selling to can't afford it because they overdid it, or they didn't understand what they were actually selling it to, because they typically, these markets deal a lot with seller financing, but they had the wrong type of money in it. So make sure your money matches the trailer home. Where people mess up with the fix and flip residential is they don't know how to run their numbers. They'll over rehab it, they'll under rehab it, they overestimate ARV, they under well, if they underestimate, that would not be a problem. Or they take the wholesaler's word for it, or they take the realtor's word for everything, and they go into it blindly and not know their numbers. Don't be that person. Wholesaling residential, in my opinion, this is one of the best places to start if what your skill set currency is time. The reason I say that is, even if you have money, I'm telling you, like, this is a great area to start. Now, if you have, again, if you have more money, you're going to probably be down in the residential cash flow area, cash flow strategies. But wholesaling residential, if you really want to get the best deals come from wholesaling residential direct with sellers, because you can get creative financing, you can get the terms, you can get the biggest discounts because there's no middle person. So that is the best place for deals. And it is also, people say wholesale residential real estate is one of the easiest to get into. I'm going to argue that it's one of the most sophisticated strategies out there, because you have to know all of these different exit strategies. You have to know all of these different title issues. You have to know all of the different a direct with seller marketing strategy. You have to be a pro at sales, marketing, that whole process, finding the property, then matching it with the seller. It is, or finding the, I'm sorry, matching with the buyer. It's a complex dance that people totally underestimate. Wholesaling land. This is the same thing as wholesaling residential, but it's less liquid, meaning there's less buyers. You can typically get way more deeper discounts with land, but the buyer pool that you're selling into is much less as well. So that's liquidity discounts, what we call. Wholesaling notes. This is something, everything you see we've done, right? Me and my team have done almost everything here, and so I know these intimately. I just don't talk about them. We do them on a regular basis. So wholesaling notes, this is either performing or non-performing notes. You can buy these notes being direct with the note holder. You can, we also deal with hedge funds as well. And so this is, it's sophisticated. Wholesaling multifamily, this is something I see entry level people try to get into, and they just waste their time, money, and energy, because this is the big deep end of the pool. Multifamily is, because you're dealing with Wall Street, you're dealing with people with big checkbooks, you're dealing with people that are looking for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% cap rates, returns, that has way cheaper money than you can get. And so it's hard to get into that arena. You're dealing with people that spend 40, $60,000 a month in marketing. So it's the liquidity pool or the buyers and the sellers. It's a much more condensed market. And then the sellers that are selling, they're typically much more sophisticated than your residential, where you're just dealing with a homeowner. So that's a little bit harder to get into. Wholesaling commercial, again, you're dealing with professionals. That's why I put these as intermediate. With wholesaling notes, wholesaling multifamily, is because you're dealing with someone that knows what they're doing much more than the typical residential owner. So wholesaling commercial is office space, is warehouse space, is different things like that. Lots of opportunity to make big checks, but your skill set needs to correspond with that big check. You just don't stumble upon it. Fix and flipping commercial, this would be, maybe you're fixing, flipping office space, maybe car washes, maybe a retail space, maybe warehouses, things like that. Land development, there's lots of different ways to do land development. You can entitle it, you can change zoning, you can take a raw piece of land. Now, this typically, one of the factors with land is you can typically get seller financing, but you also need cash to bring it down, and you have a much longer hold time, right? You have to go through permitting. There's a lot more time risk in this. Fix and flipping land, that would be, you take land and you make it entitled, or maybe you just hold it. Maybe you hold it for 3 to 5 years out, or you take it and you bring water to it, or you bring electricity to it, or you create a plan to develop the land, and then you sell the plans. And so that's one way. Fix and flipping multifamily. Now, this is next level. There's a lot of force appreciation. It's a lot. a lot of fun because it's value different than residential. The more income you make, the more property value, the more the value of the property is worth. The less the expenses are, the more the net operating income, the more the value of the property is. And so fix and flipping multifamily is a lot of fun. It's a lot of profit potential, but again, you're playing in the deep end of the pool with people that have lots of skill sets. Trailer park flips. This is buying the entire trailer park. We have people in our community that are doing this. They buy it and they'll either again, it's valued very much like a multifamily on what's called cap rate, and so you're trying to increase income, decrease expenses to increase the overall value, maybe refinance it, hold it in your portfolio, or sell it for a big check. Excess funds. This is when somebody their house goes to auction, and let's say they owe 120 and they sell it for 150, there's an excess of $30,000. You can, like, if you've ever gotten a piece of mail that says, hey, you might have money that's owed to you, that's an example of excess funds. And so you can actually get paid on that. Every state's a little bit different on what they cap it out as, but that's a great way if you're great at sales and marketing to automate a process, get a cold callers out there, get some people. It's not a whole lot of work, but it does take skill set in sales and marketing. Now we're moving, and again, I'm moving fast here because we're already 12 minutes into this and I'm not even halfway done. And so I'm just trying to give you an overall blanket of what's possible so you can dig into more of these. Now we're moving into all of these purples are cash flow. And so we're going to start off with the entry level cash flow. You can see, right? They're all solid lines. And so residential rentals, this is your straight up residential rental. Now you can buy these direct with seller. You can buy these creative financing. You can buy these traditional financing, but it's, hey, I'm buying this and I'm putting a renter in place. Short-term rental. This is VRBOs, short-term rentals, different things like that. You think of it as buying a case of pop, 24 case of pop, and then selling them individually. And so you can sell them at a higher price per night. That's sort of the idea behind that. Trailer home cash flow. These are great for cash flow. Typically, though, it's harder to get financing for it traditionally, so you're using more of cash or seller financing aspects. Boat storage, obviously, this is limited to lakes, and you got to know what you're doing is there as well because there's you don't sometimes you own the dock, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's in the water, sometimes it's a piece of land. We have people in California that they literally just took some gravel, put it down, and they do RV and boat storage. Then we got people in Texas where they need to put covers on them, and it's a much more capital outlay than some gravel. And so those are storage is great, 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 great. I mean, I'm from Arizona. You see RV storage everywhere. You see boat storages, right? So you got to know your numbers. So midterm rentals, this is things for traveling nurses. This is for business executives. This is for flap homes for the airplane pilots, things like that. What are house hacking? We got people that rent out extra rooms in their house, or they may take a house and that's more transitional housing, but they divide them up and they rent each room out as an individual Airbnb. But it's creative, and so when I'm referring to this, I'm referring about renting out additional rooms in your house. Commercial rentals. This is commercial space, business. Restaurants, you have a commercial building and you're renting to a business, not to somebody to live in it. That's what delineates that. Multifamily rentals, this is, again, you're renting to people that live in it, not that run a business out of it, but multiple doors. Trailer park rentals. This is renting out the entire park. So you're buying the park and you're renting it out. Maybe you're leasing it. Maybe they bought the land, they own the land, and you're running the HOA. Again, there's different models on that. Affordable housing. This is a whole world that people are getting into because of what's going on in the economic situation right now. And so there's a lot of government assistance programs out there. Transitional housing. This is sober living, drug rehab. Oh my gosh, there's so many different things out there. But the idea is, hey, I need to rent a room for a night, for a month, because I just got out of jail, or I just got out of the hospital, or I just got out of a temporary situation. I'm working my way back into society. Storage units. everywhere. People love stuff and they love keeping their stuff. They always need stuff. You're dealing in the world of pension funds, you're dealing in the world of um, publicly traded REITs, and so they have a lot cheaper money than you. But your ninja skills are your sales and marketing. Your ninja skills are your maneuverability. Your ninja skills that you can actually get out there and negotiate direct with seller, and different things like that. Assisted living, there's all of these different levels of care from, hey, I just need a house to live in because and I need help with shopping, all the way up to memory care, where it's very expensive and everything in between. This is very popular, especially as the baby boomers come to age. Sober living homes, drug rehab, alcohol. We have people in our community doing this, and they get to help people and they get to make a they get to make a profit. And so the idea there is, you're helping the people get off of whatever it is that they're on and assimilate back into society. And so if that's where your heart is, you can do that. Motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. This is things like this is a business. Now, all of these are businesses in some sense, but this is more of that business because you have to do the sales and the marketing to make sure you get the hotel and motel populated. I'm sorry, occupied. And so that is why I put this on the advanced end of that spectrum. Now we're going into big check and cash flow. And so lending money, how do you create big check and cash flow? Where you can do points and monthly interest. You can do debt, you can do equity. Again, I'm going over this at a high level. Study these, find a couple that you like, study these. Tax liens and deeds. These are, every state is different. Every every state is different. And so these can be cash flow. These can be used as a method for acquisition. These can be used as a method for cash flow. So they're very unique across the country. So really know what the market is for that. Lease option. This is where you get a down payment. You can buy properties like this. You can sell properties. I don't want to say buy. You can control it on the front end. You can control it on the back end like this. And so the idea is there's an option premium, right? Let's say $5,000 with monthly payments. Okay, so that's how you get big check and cash flow. Sandwich leases. This is your sandwich leasing on the front end, meaning you're doing a lease option on the front end, you're doing a lease option on the back end. What this looks like is, let's say you pay $3,000 and $1,100 a month, right? And all of the repairs, $500 and below, goes to your landlord. And then you do an option for 1,300 and all of and 5,000, right? And so you paid 3,000, you received 5,000, you got the difference of 2,000. You're paying 1,100 and you're receiving 1,300, so you got the difference of 200, and you push off all repairs, saying the landlord gets all of the 500 and above, and your new tenant gets 500 and below. Now the risk is that the person doesn't pay, and then you got to evict, right? There's risk in all this. You just got to know. Seller financing arbitrage. You know you can buy on subject to and you sell on contract for deed. That's an example of seller financing. These two sort of go together. Again, it's learning how to maneuver the financing so that you can make money from buying it and selling it, and you're the middle person, right? And there's so many different ways to do that. That could be a lifetime of conversations. Performing notes. This is, hey, the income stream has proven itself, and so there's a lot less risk. Non-performing notes is, hey, it quit performing. I have to get it re-performing. More risk, but also more profit potential. And so everyone has their jam. And so pick a strategy that matches your skill set, or get the skill set to match the strategy you want to do. Look at your currencies, time, money, knowledge, relationships, and see which one is the best. I'm telling you, start off with something simple, gang. Start off with something simple. If you got money, start off with one of these cash flow strategies. If you don't have money, start off with residential wholesaling, right? Don't jump into the deep end of the pool with some of these other stuff. I promise Learn the skill set of sales and marketing, learn the skill set of conversation, learn the skill set of negotiation. The rest will come. And it's easiest to learn that with residential all day long. And then you can move your way up to the more advanced stuff. So keep watching. We still got to go through type of marketing, we still got to go through type of lead, and we still got to go through type of financing. So excited to keep this conversation going, my friends.